You're ready to flip the switch, ready to go racing. 225 laps on offer from the Richmond Raceway. I'm Rick James. You're watching round number 3 of ARCS Thursday Night Thunder. Welcome, one and all. This is going to be an unbelievable night of racing. You've already seen some fans in the chat enter exclamation point TNT giveaway 3 for your chance to win an Alex Bowman 164 diecast. Fans, check it out on Rick James TV Twitter or Thursday Night Thunder Twitter. That Neon Lights 164 car is up for grabs. Bama Tramo winning last week is ineligible to win this week, but no worries, Mama Vols. Your Kyle Busch diecast is already on its way to you. Jeremy Brio starts us off to the inside with Tom Sears on the outside. Green flag is out. Let's go racing. First lap so far, so good. Jeremy Brio continues to lead. Toby Estes sitting in second. Cody Pennell in that third position. Riding along now with North Carolinian Dustin Painter in the 00 Buckshot Jones Pontiac. That Aqua Fresh paint scheme sitting in that fifth position right now. He's looking to Seth Wansing in the number 9. Pepsi Monte Carlo making his first appearance this season. The North Carolinian in the point standings sits third right now, just 10 points off of the top two. Cody Pennell and Tom Sears separated by one solitary point, and there they are side by side into that first corner. Good Hope, Georgia's Cody Pennell just leading the 14 of Sears out of turn number 2. The 213simware.com Toyota Supra now rests on the outside of North Carolina's Dustin Painter with the KC Masterpiece. Seth Wansing making his first appearance tonight, the two-time A-squared champion, looking to get a W, rocking that Jeff Gordon paint scheme. Another driver in the Jeff Gordon colors sitting 9th right now, Central Florida's Richie Catania in the ever-famous Rainbow Warrior livery. Adorning that number 24 Impala SS, he sits 9th in the running order right now. Richie in the 2-4 sits ahead of Nashville's Davey Houck. Nashville by way of OC. Originally from Orange County, he sits on the cusp of the top 10 while Jeremy Brio finds himself side by side with Toby Estes. Peanut Butter Estes to you, making his debut in season number 5. And how about that for a retro paint scheme? The mellow yellow colors on that Lumina. Maybe a Cole Trickle Award in his future. The Greensburg, Kentucky native, one of those 3 Bluegrass Bandits that made an appearance last season, sits to the inside of the Morgan Shepherd paint scheme, the number 7 Ford Dodge Charger, being piloted by Pennsylvania's Jeremy Brio. Holds on to that lead on the outside of turn number 1. Charger, Lumina, Thunderbird, your top 3. Pennsylvania, Kentucky, Georgia, as it were. If you've recently tuned in, I'm Rick James. You are watching Thursday Night Thunder Season 5 from Richmond Raceway. Shout out to Bailey Shepard, who entered that giveaway by putting in exclamation point TNT giveaway 3 into the chat. Don't forget, using that code TNT giveaway 3, you can win an Alex Bowman diecast, that Neon Lights diecast on that 48 car. Davey Houck sits ahead of Elliott Longenecker. This right now, the battle for the 10th position. Longenecker starts to get just a bit closer now. There's Terry Gabbard coming out of that second corner. On the outside in that headlight and tail light less, number 4 Busch car. Squeeze between the 7.5 and the 3. Another one of those Bluegrass Bandits, Cody Riggs, in the Ski Chevrolet Impala, finds himself nestled in the 15th position. Rockwall's Donald Ray coming up behind both Riggs and Gabbard side by side into turn number 3. No contact between them yet, but fighting hard for the position right alongside that yellow line. Riggs looks to scoot up high on the Ohio driver, but Gabbard holds on to the position. He's in 14th. At the front, Toby Estes finds himself in second, opening that bottom lane for Cody Pennell, but he won't take that just yet. Even though he's making his first appearance this season, missing the first 2 rounds, Toby Estes is nobody to be taken lightly with 4 wins in his part-time schedule in Season 4. Toby Estes put the nail in his, well, I would say not in his coffin, but he put the nail in what you could say was a successful season for him, winning the season finale at Atlanta, where Thomas Andrews was crowned champion. The defending champion right now in the number 2 TNT MGD Impala, sitting in 8th right now, just ahead of Orlando's Richie Catania. Caution is out for the first time, however. It looks like Tommy Withers has crashed that excellent-looking number 6 Valvoline Ford Taurus with some damage to the rear end. Let's see what happened to the Virginian. This is Withers behind Jeff No in the double 5. Tommy Withers just gets caught up a little bit of a accordion effect and getting run into by John Honeybrink in that Rockwell Automation Pontiac. There's the Virginian, now limping away from that wreck. One more look from a wider angle. Have a look at the 4 of Terry Gabbard on your left-hand side. It looks like, oh, there was contact with Cody Riggs, and everybody just gets bunched up out of turn number 1. Let's see if we can find what happened to Cody Riggs. On board Donald Ray. And one more look on board John Honeybrink. Not much room for reaction, but the Virginian makes it out of pit road. And I was telling him earlier in practice, this has to be one of the best looking cars, not just in the race tonight, but certainly of all time. But then again, that's what nostalgia does for you, doesn't it? Just makes you have a little bit of a soft spot for things like that. The rainbow car, of course, that black 3 that Dale Earnhardt drove through the late 80s, early 90s. And how about this? A little bit of Morgan Shepherd flair on the front of Jeremy Brio's race car. When's the last time you saw somebody rocking the Morgan Shepherd paint scheme? Toby Estes being scored in second with that mellow yellow that Kyle Petty made famous. But, of course, you saw that in Days of Thunder. Classic movie. Let's see if we can bother the race leader for a quick word before we go back to green. Jeremy Brio, Rick James up top. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you, Rick.
Going green next time by. Jeremy, what's your strategy to get the W tonight?
Hopefully not have to use the bathroom in the middle of the race.
Well, you know, like our real-life counterparts, man, if you got to go, you just got to go. You got to get that win in Thursday Night Thunder, buddy. Who's going to be your toughest challenge to get to the finish?
It's going to be between Cody and Toby here. They're pretty fast so far. So, yeah, I think those guys are going to be my 2.
Inside or outside, JB? Preferred line?
Definitely going to go inside.
Keep the shiny side up, buddy. We'll be cheering you on.
All righty, thank you.
So Brio going to get back to work in that number 7-4. Toby Estes sitting in second, and it looks like they're waiving this restart possibly. Not sure if we've had an issue at the back, and we have had an issue at the back. Terry Gabbard out of line in the number 4, trying to get back up to speed. Not sure what happened to the Ohio driver, but clearly you can see he's lagging behind. Josh Garrison and Terry Gabbard involved in an incident, possibly. There's Garrison in the 84. Not sure what might have happened to Gabbard. And there's just a concertina, a big accordion, getting ready to come to green. Not sure what happened to Garrison. But the restart has been waived, and now it looks like we may go green again. Lights are out atop that pace car. Pace car's peeling off. Jeremy Brio coming down pit road while the pace car peels off. Toby Estes will have the lead coming to green. Green flag is out. Let's go racing. Brio comes to a halt. This has to be one of the most bizarre restarts I've ever seen. But any way you put it, Toby Estes to the point. He's your new leader. Cody Pennell in second. Tom Sears, last week's winner, in third. Cody Pennell now sitting in second behind that 7-8 of Toby Estes, coming up off of turn number 4. Pennell being trailed by Sears. Sears being followed by Painter and Seth Wansing. Now sitting just behind them in that 5th spot. Aiden Norman trying to get into that top 5 with Richie Catania behind him. Jimmy Kerr III just went green with his personal best, 22.73 seconds. And reigning champion Thomas Andrews behind Elliot Longenecker in that 2-5. Let's go on board the number 2 MGD Impala for a few laps around Richmond. Elliot Longenecker in the 2-5 Windy Chevrolet. Chevrolet sits in 8th right now, up 6 places from where he started. Toby Estes leading the field out of turn number 2. But not for long if Cody Pennell has his way with it. These two drivers racking up 7 wins between them in 12 starts last year. What kind of damage are these two going to do to the points table? It's only round 3, but Tom Sears behind them already has a win, and he wants a piece of these two out of the second corner. It's 0.3 of a second to Dustin Painter, then almost a full second to Seth Wansing, who sits in that 5th position. Aiden Norman starting to crowd the mirror of that number 9 Pepsi DuPont Chevy. Josh Garrison and Terry Gabbard side by side. This the move for the 18th position, Terry Gabbard putting himself in 18th. Josh Garrison was inside. Both of these drivers fighting hard for that position. Garrison sliding up the racetrack, but relents, giving Gabbard his fair space. Meanwhile, Tristan Catania in the number 4-8 RaceArcs.com Camaro being pursued by the 2-0 of John Honeybrink. A little bit of Busch Series action on that Rockwell automation machine. Behind them, the number 6 of Tommy Withers rolling in 17th, just off of that first caution, but still trying to make a good comeback. Withers did get 1 win last year at the Daytona International Speedway at his home track. Will he be able to seal another? Donald Ray holding off Jeff No in that 5-5. Some of you may know Jeff as Stout Whiskey from the Xbox days. The Carolina Basement Solutions Camry moves to the inside of the G-Mac Chevrolet. The Texan takes the top side. No, down to the inside making his debut this season in Thursday Night Thunder. I said that was a Camry. That's a Ford Mustang, pardon me. Number 55 Mustang to the inside of that G-Mach Impala. This the move for 13th. Donald Ray just a little bit loose out of that fourth corner, but it is the fastest way around here. Really making use of that top lane, trying to get all the momentum off of turn number 2, and it's working for the moment. But how about defending champion Thomas Andrews? He's in 8th right now, just inside that top 10. Closes the door on Elliot Longenecker. He's up to the 8th position, just 1 second off of Richie Catania in 7th. Kerr in 3rd, Longenecker, Kerr the 3rd in 9th, Longenecker in 10th, and then Orange County's Davey Hauk just falling in behind them in the 11th position. Toby Estes continues to lead this race while Cody Pennell sits a comfortable 1/3 of a second behind him. Pennell comfortable with that inside line all the way through. Estes looking like he's diamonding the corner, almost entering high, coming down low, trying to make the distance as short as possible. Tom Sears in that 3rd position. He's got Dustin Painter behind him off that 4th corner. The North Carolinian looking to get his first win this season. Sits right now 10 points off of Cody Pennell in the 2nd position, but it is about consistency. Dustin Painter with an average finish of 4th between the first 2 races gets to the inside of the 2-time champion. Painter makes his way onto the podium positions 37 laps into this race. Fans at home, if you've just tuned in, you're watching Thursday Night Thunder, round number 3 from the Richmond Raceway. Jeremy Brio looks to make it 3 wide onto the inside. ARCS Racing Network says, I missed the race. Think a Virginia boy can help you call. I think we can help with that. Now introducing, not only the Virginia boy we were expecting to see tonight, but last year's Talladega winner, Mr. Ryan Pennell. Welcome to the booth. Miss you on the track, buddy, but glad to have you here anyways. Just down the road from Richmond, just outside Henrico County, and actually you were a graduate of the University of Richmond. Go Spiders. Ryan, welcome to the show, buddy.
Thank you, man. Glad to be here.
Round number 3 so far. We caught you in the first 2 races. The season opener at North Wilkesboro, round number 2 last week. A couple of good races for you. Las Vegas. All right, coming into this round, Ryan, as we continue to watch Dustin Painter circulate to the inside of Tom Sears. You come into this race, well, 8th in the points, and you might take a tumble so far, but not a bad start to your 3rd season.
No, not at all. I mean, unfortunately, I couldn't make the race, so there's no place I'd rather be than up here with you in the booth. This is some great racing. I know Cody and Toby and Tom Sears are going to be really fast. Jeremy's fast as well, so I'm excited for this race tonight.
41 laps underway. Cody Pennell, Toby Estes, Tom Sears, your top 3. Let's go and take a look at Cousin Cody making the pass to the inside of that 7-8. Looks like just a textbook move for the 2-8 on the inside of that 7-8 car. Pushing Toby to the high side, Ryan, and it looks like he made Estes just a bit uncomfortable. We've seen that 7-8 just own the bottom line, and Estes right now looks like he may have just been thrown off his mojo, or maybe 43 laps into this one, the tires are starting to give way.
It could be saving. I mean, Toby's really good about saving tires, saving his resources, so we'll have to see if he falls back or can stay up there. But, I mean, me and you both know Cody is fast anywhere we go, especially with these cars. So good to see Cody out front, you know, cousin of mine, and but I'm pulling for Toby too. He's always good at saving his stuff.
Cody Pennell from Good Hope, Georgia, leading this one in the 2-8 Texaco Haviland Thunderbird. Toby Estes now sitting in that second position. Well, being scored actually in the second position. But the 7-4 of Jeremy Brio sits between them. Not sure what happened to the Pennsylvanian, Ryan. He peeled off just before the restart. He finds himself 11 laps off the mark right now. It looks like just a race for pride for Brio now.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, when you start, I don't know if maybe it was a connection issue or what, but when you start that many laps down, that's really hard to recover from. But you see, he got one back the hard way, so he's not giving up yet.
We love that spirit in Thursday Night Thunder, even when the chips are absolutely down. I mean, in all probability, he's not going to make back 11 laps of racing in the next 180-some, but it's still just a little bit inspiring just to see he's still here to just enjoy his time and maybe learn a little bit. How about a driver that's learned a lot? Dustin Painter with an almost magical win last year at Talladega with the bit between his teeth this season. Ryan, the North Carolinian is up to 5th right now with Aiden Norman trying to take the spot away from him, and only Peculiar Missouri's Seth Wansing sits ahead of the North Carolinian.
Dustin is just, he's Mr. Consistency. I mean, other than Lurkin, those two drivers are just consistent week in and week out. I mean, you see Cody putting the 84 of Joshua Garrison a lap down now, but yeah, Dustin Painter is always consistent, running top 5. Great run for him, and great run for Aiden Norman in 6th. You know, we haven't seen him up there much this year, so good to see him running good as well.
This rookie has been really, really impressive. Aiden Norman, according to the TNT point standings, is tied for 8th with yourself right now, coming into this 3rd round. Thomas Andrews, the defending champion, is in 5th with 82 points. That means there's only 8 markers between Aiden Norman and the top 5. We're no strangers to seeing rookies with flashes of brilliance. Ryan, it's almost a little bit impressive, but what does Norman have to learn? For example, going up against seasoned veteran Dustin Painter, this is not an easy racetrack.
Just be consistent. I mean, that's the biggest thing. Just, you know, stay in it. You know, make sure that he's just saving his tires, saving everything. Looks like dirt may have just disconnected, had some network issues, so unfortunate for the 84. But yeah, Aiden Norman running great right now in 6th, and that's a great points day. Even if he finishes 6th, I mean, he's going to make up some really good, you know, points on myself included, missing the race, but on other drivers as well.
51 laps underway so far. Painter looking to get to the inside of Sears, who's been sliding back just a bit. Seth Wansing has taken the 3rd place away from him. So the Missouri driver in his number 9 Monte Carlo sits 1 second behind Greensburg, Kentucky's Toby Estes. Cody Pennell 1.8 seconds ahead. 52 laps into this one, Ryan. This definitely just smells of tire conservation. Coming from the 28 camp, the Thursday Night Thunder Track Facts expecting these drivers to go between 60 and 70 laps. That's when the tires just might give out. But we'll see who's got what it takes to go the distance.
Yeah, it's all about, like you said, tire conservation, biggest key. And it'll be interesting to see if some of the guys in the back make a little bit of a strategy and maybe come earlier than some of these leaders. You'll really make up a lot of time on those fresh tires. As you see, the 62 is battling with that 00 and the 14. Great battle right now for this 4th position.
Off that second corner, Aiden Norman to the inside of Dustin Painter. The 00 looks to go to the inside. 3 wide into turn number 3. Norman wisely backs off the throttle, and he lets the 00 go. Painter has had enough of this waiting around, and he's overdue for the victory. The North Carolinian diving to the inside of that 1-4 Supra put the Aquafresh Pontiac up into 4th. Further on back, Ryan, OC's Davey Houck gets to the inside of Rockwall's Donald Ray, but he just can't make it stick. We've seen Ray dominate the high side so far in this race. Is that the preferred line? Because I haven't seen him touch that yellow line once tonight.
I would say no. I mean, you know, but Jacket's good everywhere. I mean, but me personally, I'd like to be on the inside, you know, stay on that yellow line. Really hard to make a pass on the outside. But also shout out to Jeff No, a.k.a. Stout Whiskey. running in P11 looks like right now. So great race for him on his debut here at Thursday Night Thunder at Richmond.
No makes that dive to the inside, working on Donald Ray, but you can just see the momentum carrying the 5 car out of turn number 2. Looks like he uses that momentum to get to the inside of JK3. Jimmy Kerr, the third on the top side of turn number 4 in that 75. Orange chrome rimmed Holler Boys Impala, sitting in 8th right now. Kerr's our hardest charger of the race, but also shout out to Honeybrink in the 2-0 Rockwell Pontiac. He's up 7 places from where he started, as Ryan Davey Hauk has left pit road 59 laps into this one, and the green flag cycle has officially started.
Yeah, I mean, I knew some of those guys in the back would definitely try and come down pit road a little early, so it looks like Davey took advantage of that. Came down, got some fresh tires. He should make up some time, so it'll be interesting to see as the 5 looks like he bounces off the wall a little bit. Donald Ray looks like he's struggling a little bit tonight.
The 5 car, that Ricky Hendrick livery on the outside of Richie Catania. This the battle for a spot in the top 10. The Floridian lining up that number 5 GMAC Impala. Dives to the inside, but Catania gets squirrely under braking. You saw the nose just dart to the right side. Good save by Catania, but he's going to have to line up Ray for another attack. Aiden Norman on the inside of Tom Sears squeezes into that 5th position. The 2-time champion is starting to slide back, Ryan, and the defending champion, Thomas Andrews, now wants a piece of Sears.
Yeah, Sears is on the outside. That's never a good place to be. Not only, I mean, you have a lot of momentum, but it's just really hard to get the car to turn, and it's really bad for tires. So Tom Sears definitely trying to probably get to the bottom, but looks like he's content with running the high side, but you know, he's got to be worried about his tires at this point.
Off that 4th corner now, further on back, James Kerr to the inside of Jeff No. Can't make it stick. There goes Ray off of turn number 2. Slams the inside wall. 1-car incident, but now it's time for the 5 to come down into the pits. Elliot Longenecker also, no, this is further on back. Longenecker looks like he crashed, and that may have caused him to come down. But you saw Ray just slide wildly off of that 2nd corner, slamming the inside wall, and the number 5 now coming for tires and fuel. Ryan, this is just going to make his pit stop even longer now.
Absolutely, and I mean, every lap you run on these tires, they get just more and more loose. I mean, it's really a handful. Even on fresh tires, it's a handful, but you see these guys, you know, Donald Ray and Elliot Longenecker struggling with the tire wear, and these cars are just ill handling for them. But unfortunately, it looks like Donald Ray is sitting there for a little bit, so he may have some either optional or required repairs, and that's very unfortunate for the 5 car.
Cody is down. He's coming down for tires and fuel. The number 28 Texaco Haviland Ford gives up the lead. And last week, Ryan, it looked like Cody had the advantage on tires, but he was just undercut by Tom Sears. 66 laps into this one, and the fastest car in the field comes down pit road, and that opens the floodgates. Here comes Seth Wansing. John Honeybrink pitted on lap 15. Richie Catania also coming down pit road. Donald Ray on his way out. Tommy Withers in the number 6 Ford coming down for tires. Your race leader now, Toby Estes. All of the top 5 have not come down pit road.
And I talked to Cody earlier this week, and he really was upset with himself about Las Vegas. He didn't quite do his math right on the tires, and he told me this week he was going to do it different. He was going to make sure that he did the math right. He was going to make sure he had tires left at the end of the race. So I would definitely keep an eye on Cody. He's learned from his mistakes at Las Vegas. Obviously one of the faster cars, so we'll see what he can do moving through the field with these fresh tires.
Pennell rejoins the racing surface in the 9th position. 1 lap off the pace as he waits for the rest of his competitors to come down pit road. Again, none of the top 5 are in. Peanut Butter Estes leading this race in the 78. Aiden Norman sitting in 2nd, rising up out of that 2nd corner. being overtaken by Cody Riggs. Just couldn't make that move, though. Riggs with the fresh tires. Dustin Painter now coming out on extremely worn rubber, makes way for cousin Cody, and Pinnell's going to try and earn his laps back the hard way. Tom Sears behind him. Tom Andrews decorating the back end of that top 5. Jeff No running in 6th, but he pitted on lap 15, Ryan, as did John Honeybrink. These two guys are way off cycle.
Oh, there's one spun there on the entrance of pit. I didn't
Cody
see who
Riggs.
that was, Rick. Yeah.
Cody Riggs, and there is the Greensburg, Kentucky driver trying to get back up onto the racing surface, gives it a bit of a spin, little bit of a flare, and the Ski Impala back onto the racing surface. We stay green as 1/3 of the Bluegrass Bandits picks up his banjo when he keeps on picking down that front straight. Riggs, you can see the damage on the rear end of that Impala, but he's got to keep on keeping on at this point. Back to Jeff No and John Honeybrink, Ryan. They're running 6th and 8th, respectively. They're way off cycle here. Maybe they're gambling on just another rogue caution.
Absolutely. I mean, if you come down at lap 15, you'll be able to go a little bit further than Cody and Seth and some of these leaders. So it's definitely a strategy. They're going to lose in the end if it stays green, but if a caution comes out, they're going to be sitting golden. So, you got to do that here in TNT. I mean, in long runs, you got to make some strategy changes. So, shout out to them for trying something different, seeing if it works. And if it does, they're heroes. And if it doesn't, then they're zeros.
You got to gamble. You got to go for it sometimes. Shout out to K-Rex-A-Can in the chat saying there was so much sass in that spin. Fatal, a.k.a. Tyler Tyone, for those that know, racing Monday nights in the Truck Series. He's giving a little bit of love in the chat. Glad to have everybody here. If you've recently tuned in, I'm Rick James, sat alongside one Ryan Pinnell. Man, when's the last time we broadcasted a race? It had to be season 2 of TNT, season 1 or 2 of TNT. But glad to have you back in the booth, my friend. Aiden Norman is our race leader. Speaking of gambles, Ryan, the rookie's going for it. Dustin Painter has not pitted. Now he's coming down pit road. So that just leaves the top 3 who have not come in. Last week's winner, Tom Sears. Last year's champion, Tom Andrews. And the rookie leading them all by 3 whole seconds.
And it's all a gamble. I mean, that's all it is, Rick. You're leading this race. You got to come down pit road. You know that you are losing valuable time to Cody. I mean, Cody's only about 19 seconds back from Aiden right now. Once he pits, he's going to lose all that time. But if a caution comes out, he is sitting pretty. So it's really just a gamble. I mean, that's all it is.
I suppose the gamble doesn't stop from last week at Las Vegas. The drivers continue to roll the dice. Thomas Andrews told us in practice that the car's can go about 80 laps on 1 tank of fuel. Right now, Aiden Norman finds himself on lap 78, yet to come down for tires and fuel. Thomas Andrews in second, has not pitted. That's typical, however. We know that Tommy can go the distance. He's a great mathematician, but will it prove valuable to him? Jeff No, another rookie, comes up into that podium position while Tom Sears hasn't pitted. James Kerr III has not pitted. Terry Gabbard, he was involved in that first yellow of the evening, has not come down pit road, Ryan. 79 laps into this one. Who looks strongest? There's Aiden Norman. Aiden Norman's, he missed it. The rookies missed it.
Man.
Aiden Norman tried to come down pit road and he missed it. Thomas Andrews on the outside now, coming to take the lead, while Donald Ray and Jeff No are side by side, not for position, but now the defending champion is the new leader, while 2 rookies sit second and third. Chevy, Ford, Dodge top 3. Jeff No to the inside, looking to take the lead from the defending champion on lap 80 in round 3. 55 and 2 side by side, Ryan.
I tell you, this is not an easy pit road. A lot of people think it's an easy pit road. It's not. You have really got to slow your car down, and if you don't hit it just right, you will miss it. And you saw that, unfortunately, from that 62 of Aiden Norman. And now the 2 and the 55 are battling with the 78 of Toby Estes, trying to unlap himself. So there's some good racing right up here in the front for the lead and for the lucky dog.
Toby Estes wants to be that first car. One lap down. There goes no. Shoots to the outside while the 7-8 of Estes goes to his inside. Estes trying to use that inside lane to his advantage, being pursued by the North Carolinian in the Buckshot Jones Pontiac. The rookie, Jeff Noe, leading this race. Ahead of defending champion Thomas Andrews in second. Tom Sears 2 seconds off of this debacle, while Aiden Norman finally gets tires and fuel on lap number 80. And that right there, let's have a look at Aiden Norman. Trying to come down pit road, Ryan. He just came into turn 3 too hot, gave it a bit of a wiggle, and he just skated right past that entrance. And you hate to say it, but rookie mistake from the rookie. Now he's got to buckle down and focus. As a driver, you know how hard it is to shake off those previous mistakes, but especially at a track like Richmond where there's no room for mistakes. Norman's
There really
loose off
isn't.
of turn number 2, trying to get it back together, Ryan, and the rookie has got to shake himself out of this funk.
Yeah, and that's just experience.
There he goes. Norman spins it out of turn number 4, being dodged by
and he's
Jeremy
sitting
Brio.
there.
Not moving. He's just in the middle of the racing surface while everybody piles around him. Donald Ray makes it
There's the
around.
caution.
Jeff Noe makes it around, and the yellow flag comes out, as you say, Ryan, for the second time today. And we get to catch our breaths. Rookie Aiden Norman goes for a spill in that fourth corner. Let's have another look. And let's actually go back here, because Aiden Norman, Ryan, looks like this is the lap right here where Norman's just going to get loose out of turn number 2, and this has to be that pit road mistake that's just sticking with the rookie.
Yeah, I mean he can't shake it. But man, I tell you what, Rick, the one driver, actually 2 drivers here. Well, Tom Sears as well, but Jeff Noe and Jonathan Hohenbrink could not have played this better. Jeff Noe in the lead, able to now pit, get fresh tires. You only got 6 cars on the lead lap, Rick. I mean, this is huge for Jeff Noe and Jonathan Hohenbrink. Great strategy. Unfortunate for some of the other drivers that are now trapped a lap down. The previous champ, Thomas Andrews, Tristan Catania, Terry Gabbard, James Kerr. So many good drivers now trapped a lap down because of this caution.
Now we have to see just who's going to make it, because as you say, Ryan, the gamble paid off. This third round gamble paid off for Jeff Noe, aka Stout Whiskey, the rookie who went 86 laps without pitting. Comes down on lap 86, gets those tires, gets that fuel. He finds himself in 5th right now. Cousin Cody, the 3-time winner, leading this race with Seth Wansing behind him. Let's bother Cousin Cody just for a minute, see how he's doing today. Cody Pennell, Rick James, Ryan Pennell up top. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. How are y'all doing?
Well, if I can get out of the customer service voice, I nearly said, how can I help you? But we're having a good time. We're loving this so far, and the cautions coming very few and far between. Only 2 of them in 88 laps of racing. And the pit strategy worked out for Jeff Noe and John Honeybrink, but how about for you, who pitted on lap 64? According to the math here, you won't be able to go another 40 laps without coming down again.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think the tire fall off is huge. I was losing probably under a second a lap, 40, 50 laps into that last run. So I'm not really stressing the pit strategy tonight. I'm just going to try to keep it up front.
Ryan Cousin Cody is going for that second win in 3 starts after nailing 3 wins last season and making his full-time debut this season in Thursday Night Thunder. What words can you use to give him a little bit of encouragement? It's not an easy racetrack. Where is Cody going to have to focus up?
I mean, he's just got to keep doing what he's doing. I mean, he knows what he's doing. He's got a great coach and his cousin Ryan Pennell. So, he's just got to keep listening to me, and he's going to do great. I mean, he's going to have to watch out for Toby and Tom Sears. Those 2 guys are fast, but I think Cody's got it in the bag. He's just got to, make sure he doesn't make any mistakes, and he's got this thing.
save that special set of tires for me for that last pit stop, bud.
I got you, bud.
Cody, we're cheering for you, buddy. Give us a show. Keep the shiny side up, my friend. Best of luck.
Appreciate it, y'all.
Going to green this next time by with good hopes. Cody Pennell leading the way, defending champion. Thomas Andrews sitting behind the 2-8. Andrews right now being scored in that 8th position. And then Seth Wansing, who's being scored in 2nd, all the way back here. Bit of a mix-up here, but we got plenty of cars a lap down, and the car's just organized as iRacing puts them, but the pace car peels off. We're going to go racing once again. Great jump by the 2-8, and we're running again at Richmond.
Yeah, I don't know why it put the 2 up there, Rick, but, I mean, great position for him. But, yeah, a lot of lap down cars on the inside. I knew the 28 was going to get a good jump, but a lot of lap down cars up here racing, trying to get their laps back, trying to stay, you know, on the end of the lead lap for some of them. So this is going to be interesting, and I think you may see some battling here between lap down cars.
Cody Pennell has a 2.5-second advantage to Seth Wansing, who's being scored in that 2nd position. Toby Estes just to his inside as Tommy Withers wiggles that number 6 Valvoline Ford Taurus on the outside. Everybody keeps it in one piece as they remain 2 by 2, 3 rows deep on lap 93. Donald Ray running 16th right now. John Honeybrink falls off the racetrack in that number 20. Still being scored in 7th by the grace of that yellow flag. Let's see what happened to Honeybrink in the Rockwell Automation Pontiac. Just spun by himself. Richie Catania almost went with him. We're still green, Ryan. Cody Pennell leading by 2.6 seconds, but it is a hornet's nest in the middle of this pack.
It really is, and I mean that's all due to, you know, how TNT does their restarts. You got a lot of lap down cars on the inside, and they're fighting just as hard as the lead lap cars to try and stay in that position. Right now, Thomas Andrews is the lucky dog if the caution comes out, so he's got to stay up there and keep his position, and hopefully he can do that, and maybe a caution comes out in his favor.
The 7-8 of Estes still being scored in 2nd. Tom Sears now to the inside. Last week's winner in all this calamity seizes the opportunity. Donald Ray shoots to the high side. The Texan running 16th for the moment. He's got the 4-8 of Tristan Catania just behind him. Weirdly enough, Catania running 10th, and there's the contact. 3 wide in the middle. Everybody scatters with the lights shining down on the racing surface. Estes is in the wall. Painter struggles to get it moving once again. Estes crowds that mirror as Jeff No looks to shoot to that inside line with Tommy Withers just on his outside in 12th. Jeremy Brio in the 7-4 looking to make it 3 wide with the rookie into 1, but the 7-4 thinks better of it. Tom Sears in 2nd to the inside of Donald Ray with Cody Riggs giving it a wiggle out of turn number 2. Everybody's still shuffling for position, trying to find some peace, some open space. Ryan, the 5 and the 3 almost coming together, but look at this mess out of 4.
Insane, and the 0-0 you can see Dustin Painter, being scored 1 lap down in 11th right now. He is on a mission, trying to pass everyone he can, trying to get to that lucky dog position. But man, this is a hornet's nest. I mean, you got cars on the lead lap, 1 lap down, 2 laps down, even some 11 laps down, all battling like they're running for the race win tonight.
We're not even halfway. 99 laps about to be complete from the Richmond Raceway. Donald Ray gives a big shimmy to the left-hand side of the racetrack. He sends it in very shallow into 3. Skates high out of 4. Painter looking to come up behind Ray, who's sitting in 15th, 2 laps off the mark. Aiden Norman in 14th is the first car 2 laps off the mark. The first car 1 lap down is defending champion Thomas Andrews in that 2 car. The MGD Chevrolet sent it to the inside of Cody Pennell. Andrews last pitted on lap 83. Cody Pennell last pitted on lap 64. And Ryan, this is where the strategy is going to dictate who does what. When we're talking about 22 laps of difference, just like a caution, trapped several cars 1 and 2 laps down, another yellow off cycle could ruin the advantage that Thomas Andrews is enjoying, depending on when they pit. Look at Norman Ryan, the rookie Aiden Norman, shooting to the inside. He's sitting in fourth. Oh, man, but he goes way high out of 2, Ryan. He's really giving it everything.
He really is, and he got by Cody. He's doing everything he can to try and just be 1 lap down instead of 2 laps down. And Thomas Andrews is up there trying to go from 1 lap down to on the lead lap. I mean, what a battle. And Cody, I think at this point, is just saying, hey, y'all go ahead. I am still 1.2 ahead of Tom Sears in second. I'm not trying to get wrecked out. And he's doing the smart thing right now and just being safe.
New Jersey's Tristan Catania battling side by side with one of the 2 hometown drivers, Ryan, of course, being the other one. Tommy Withers goes to the inside in what I will continue to express poetically is the most beautiful car I will see this season. The number 6 Valvoline Taurus in that top 12 position, making sure Catania stays top side. Rookie Jeff No now working the outside of Dustin Painter into turn number 3. He's got a 4/10 advantage over Toby Peanut Butter Estes in the 7-8. I almost said 5-1 in the 7-8 mellow yellow machine. Seth Wansing sitting in 9th. While this goes on behind them, Richie Catania almost looking to make it 3 wide. He's racing with Cody Riggs and Terry Gabbard.
And Tom Sears has now closed the gap to about 8/10 on Cody. So now Cody's got to kind of look at his relative and say, oh, okay, I got to start racing these lap down cars a little bit harder. Now Tom Sears down to 0.5 of a second on Cody. And that's just the fact that he's got fresher tires. So Cody's in a bad spot right now, but Cody has an extra set of tires. So keep that in mind as we go later into this race and later into the green flag run.
Over the last 5 laps, you can then see Cody Pennell slower for 4 out of those last 5 laps. Tom Sears trying to really squeeze the pressure onto Pennell, and there is the gap between them. But now, what does Sears do? Because he's got tires that are 23 laps more fresh than Pennell. Sears doesn't need to turn the screw, Ryan. He's there. Pennell can see him, but what can Sears do to apply this pressure?
Just keep closing on them. I mean, as a driver, when you see a car in your relative and they're closing on you, oh, you see Davey goes way deep, almost gets into Cody. That's going to bring Lurkin Tom Sears right to Cody's back bumper. And I think Cody's a sitting duck at this point with his old tires.
Still trying to hold on, struggling though. 0.3 of a second is the gap between them. 2.8, 2.1, 1.4, but not all 4 positions. The 2.1, Davey Hauk running in the 17th position, looking to get one of his 3 laps back. The Californian sits to the inside while the top 2 wrestle nose to tail. 110 laps into this race. Fans at home, if you've recently tuned in, don't forget to enter !TNT Giveaway 3 for your chance to win an Alex Bowman 164 diecast. So far, Bailey Shepard is in that Fatal, I believe, is in that one as well. K-Rex I can also enter the chat. We'll send that out here to whichever fan is lucky enough to win the drawing at the end of this 3rd round. Tom Sears may have chilled out for the moment, Ryan. It seems like he may not want to waste this precious rubber. You can't always predict the next caution.
No, you can't. And I think he's a little worried about the 21. He's a little aggressive right now, which, I would be too. I mean, Davey's trying to get his lap back, so. But Lurkin's got to look in his rearview mirror. Now he's got Jeremy, who's 11 laps down. He's trying to make his laps back up too, so Tom Sears has got to be careful about who's around him.
Consistency is key, but you've got to make the right moves at the right time. The 7.4 of Brio moving to the inside of Sears in the 213 Simware Toyota Supra. The Morgan Shepherd car still running 11 laps off the pace, but you never know what could happen. Brio trying to pick up some precious points as the laps continue to tick forward. He comes into this race 4th in the point standings, just 1 lonely point ahead of defending champion Thomas Andrews, and 5 markers behind North Carolinian Dustin Painter. Ryan, they're starting to bunch up again, headed into turn 3.
They are, and it looks like Tom Sears may have used up a little bit of his stuff trying to get to Cody, and now he's just trying to stay safe, But now he's got Jeff Noe in third, trying to pass him on the outside, so he may lose this second position to Jeff Noe, and Toby Estes is going to be closing in quick as well.
Estes finds himself 2.5 seconds off of this battle for the third position. Sears looking to make just a little bit more time moving forward. Opens that gap up to, Jeff Noe, has pulled up to 0.3 ahead of Tom Sears as he can see Cody Pennell in his sights. Noe last pitted on lap 86, so he also has a 22-lap advantage over Cody Pennell on the tires. But now we can see how two different strategies are going to unfold, Ryan. Noe, the rookie, going after the race leader, and Tom Sears conserving what's left of those general tires. But how about Cody Pennell, who has not pitted in 63 laps? He went 64 before pitting, Ryan. When will cousin Cody come down? Is he also gambling on a caution just like before?
It's got to be close. I mean, he's got to be looking at tires and what he can gain on fresh tires. But I tell you what, if I'm Jeff Noe, if Cody comes down pit road, I maybe go 1 or 2 more laps, and I come down pit road with him and get another fresh set of tires. The longer he stays out on those old tires, the more time he's going to lose. If he comes in with Cody, he's going to have a great finish. And, maybe Tom Sears does the same thing. Again, so many different strategies out there. It's hard to keep up with. But right now, Cody's definitely probably going to come in before any of these lead lap cars. So we'll have to keep an eye on that.
120 laps underway of the scheduled 225. 7/10 is what remains between Cody Pennell and Jeff Noe. Further on back, Dustin Painter and Jimmy Kerr, the third, sitting 9th and 10th respectively. Tom Sears being scored in the third position, but a bit of a wacky restart after a caution trapped many drivers at least a lap down. Has us running with drivers scattered all over the racetrack right now, but still tough battles going on. Aiden Norman finds himself in the 14th position. He is the first car 2 laps down, while Dustin Painter is now the first car 1 lap down. So if the caution comes out, the 00 Aquafresh Pontiac will benefit, but he's got to keep a move on because Kerr sits behind him by less than 0.2 of a second, and you could say the same.
55 gets into the 74. Sorry, Rick.
No, you're good. Let's take a look. 55 and 74 making contact. Jeremy Brio now top side. He is ruined. That car destroyed. Jeff Noe running in second right now, still on the move. 0.3 of a second behind Jeremy Brio, and 4th place, Jeremy Brio needs a prayer now, coming down pit road with a destroyed right front. Cody Pennell leads, Jeff Noe in second by 0.4 of a second, Ryan. Let's go back and see what happened between Jeremy Brio. This is Brio now coming down into the pits. We're going to rewind this real quick. And there we can see contact. Jeff Noe running in second, coming up under the 7.4 of Brio. Cody Pennell getting a little bit loose. Let's see what happened. Noe just tags the 7.4 of Brio into that third corner. K-Rax says prayers for Jeremy. Let's ride on board with Noe really quick here and see just what went on. Riding along with the 55 now. Brio into the wall. 11 laps off the pace and now being scored out of this race. Jeremy Brio will finish 18th after being nudged by Jeff Noe into that turn 1 wall. The rookie in the 5.5 Mustang now tugging on the 4-time winner's cape. Cody Pennell leading by 0.3 with less than 100 to go, Ryan.
Yeah, he's definitely got fresher tires. I mean, you can see that on the lap times. He's already closed to right at 0.2, about 0.3 back from Cody. So, I mean, he's got the faster car right now, but Cody's got to know, he's got to come down pit road at some point, and he better do it pretty soon because that 55 is right on his tail, and Tom Sears, only about a second and a half from Cody and Jeff Noe. So Cody knows what's going on. He's smart. He knows what he knows that Jeff Noe's got fresher tires, and when he comes down pit road, the interesting thing is, will Jeff Noe go with him, or will Stout Whiskey stay out and try and make some more laps on those older tires?
On the bottom of your screen, there you see the distance, or the difference in the last 5 laps. Jeff Noe making his move to the inside. This for the race lead on lap 129. Noe with tires that are 22 laps more fresh than Cody Pennell, just getting away with a little bit of a blink into that third corner, but Pennell holds tough on the outside, and look at the momentum coming from that 2.8, holding on to this race lead, using the 2.1 as a pick, dives it down into the first corner, and Cousin Cody holds on to this race lead with tires that are just about 66 laps old. Unbelievable run so far for Cody Pennell. Further on back, Ryan, Terry Gabbard now coming up on Toby Estes. This the battle for 10th as Donald Ray goes to the inside wall once again. This time he keeps it off, but he scoots right up the racetrack, saves it from making contact with Terry Gabbard, and Ray, who finds himself 13th, a couple laps down, needs to chase down Aiden Norman, but not with moves like that.
No, I mean, you gotta stay consistent. I mean, anytime you go move up the track, you're going to potentially lose positions. And I tell you what, Cody has opened the gap back up to about half a second. When he got around Davey, Jeff Noe seemed to really struggle to get around that 21, where Cody was able to get around him pretty easily. But you'll see that 55 now start to close the gap. And the next car that they have in front of them is the defending champion, looks like, of Thomas Andrews. So he's going to be driving the wheels off that car, trying to stay on the lead lap, as the 28 has a little bit of a blink there.
Riding along with Cody Pennell on that left front fender, who's coming down pit road. He has had enough. The race leader is in on lap 134. A total of 70 laps of wear on those tires, and Cousin Cody makes the best of it. So the Texaco Haviland Ford relinquishes first place, and your new leader is rookie Jeff Noe, up 14 places from where he started, just like John Honeybrink into the Rockwell Automation Pontiac Grand Prix. He sits in 5th right now, having last pitted on lap 88. Toby Estes pitted on lap 127. He finds himself in 10th, 1 lap off the pace. And now it's a 3-second gap between Jeff Noe and last week's winner, Tom Sears. We've got 90 laps remaining in this event, Ryan, and those track facts will tell you these drivers get 4 maximum tire changes tonight, and they've already used a couple, so conservation is the name of tonight's game. Does Sears go for that win, knowing that his laps are about 50 laps old, or is it still too early to attack? Does he still need to conserve those tires?
Yeah, I think he needs to conserve them. I mean, if you had a little bit more, maybe 1 or 2 more sets of tires, I think Jeff Noe and Tom Sears definitely come down when Cody does. But because of the lack of tires, they got to stay out there as long as they possibly can. And, they're actually going to probably be better off because Cody, with still 90 laps to go, he can't make it on another stop. Whereas these guys, if they stay out for, even if they can stretch it to another, 15, 20 laps, they're close on being able to make it to the end. So, again, strategy, we love it in TNT. It always pokes its head out, and we see it again tonight here at Richmond.
Cousin Cody now to the inside of the KC Masterpiece. Seth Wansing in that 3rd position, giving way to Pennell, who sits in 10th, 1 lap off the pace. Thomas Andrews is your first car, 1 lap down, having just been overtaken by race leader Jeff Noe. Now it's a game of chicken at 135 miles an hour, trying to decide who's going to come down first. The rookie, who pitted at the same time as last week's winner, Tom Sears sits in second, 5.2 seconds off of the lead car's pace. Seth Wanting 5 seconds behind him, so the Massachusetts native is on an island by himself in that second position. Meanwhile, shout out Richie Catania, who's worked his way into the top 5 positions so far. Catania comes into this third round looking to, again, Ryan, as we say, consistency. That magical C word has been the word of the evening. Richie finds himself in 13th right now, 3 points behind Jason Alexander, who's not in tonight's race, 4 points off the tie for 10th with Cody Riggs and Tommy Withers, both running 14th and 17th respectively. Bit of a wiggle for the 24, but he doesn't fold out of turn number 2. He'll complete lap 141, running in third while pit stops get underway.
Yeah, great run for Richie. I mean, he's always been a consistent driver, even when we were back on Heat 5. So great run for him tonight.
As Dustin Painter decides to come down pit road for tires and for fuel, he sits in 12th right now while the field circulates around him. Honeybrink makes it up into the 4th position, and the defending champion Thomas Andrews last pitted on lap 83. How long will he go on his tires? Cody Pennell proved that he can go 70 laps on these general tires. He's up to 7th right now, just 3/10 and closing behind Toby Estes. That's 78. Is he possibly saving one more set of tires for the end? He sits in 6th right now in his Season 5 debut.
Toby's the best at saving tires. I mean, I don't know how he does it. I've raced with him before, and he is just unbelievable at saving tires. But, man, I got to give a shout-out to Jeff No. I mean, up here leading laps, 6.8 seconds ahead of Tom Sears. His first race with TNT, he qualified Tuesday in our practice race, and here he is leading this race. I mean, a hell of a job by Jeff No.
You gotta say, for the rookies that show out and actually do run a consistent race in their first season, you have to take your hats off to them, because it's not an easy league. We do say that, Toby Estes got 4 wins last season. Cody Pennell got 3 wins last season. It was easy for them, but our season champion ended up having 1 victory last year in Season 4. Consistency is what's going to win championships. And Jeff No, as we're seeing this rookie lead, is this just a flash in the pan? We know that No can drive, but in Thursday Night Thunder, what's it going to take for him to actually stand out amongst these seasoned veterans?
Yeah, I mean, pit strategy is going to be the biggest thing. I mean, right now he's looking good. I mean, if a caution comes out right now, Rick, we got 3 cars on the lead lap. That's insane. I mean, it's normal TNT, fashion. As the 28 is trying his best to get around these lap down cars. Cody is on a mission, but yeah, I mean, you just got to stay consistent and just hope for a caution. You get a caution, you only got 3 cars on the lead lap with 1 lucky dog. Makes it 4. That's pretty much a guaranteed top 5 right there. So just consistency is key.
Toby Estes comes into pit lane. Once again, you see Cody Pennell getting around just about everybody. He's 1.5 seconds off of the pace of Thomas Andrews, the first car, 1 lap down. There you see Tommy Withers on the inside of Davey Hauk coming out of that second corner. The Valvoline Ford up into the 14th position in his home race. Hauk tries the crossover on the bottom lane of 3, but just not enough room to overtake that Taurus. 19 seconds the gap now between Jeff No and Richie Catania. John Honeybrink sitting in 3rd and Thomas Andrews in 4th. There is Richie Catania, who's come down pit road. He's going to go 1 lap off the pace as he's overtaken by Jeff No, and that leaves Jeff No, John Honeybrink, and now Thomas Andrews, who have not pitted on this most recent cycle. And outside of the top 5, you've got Jimmy Kerr, who now overtakes Richie Catania. Aiden Norman, the rookie, remember he missed his entrance into pit road. He's down in 11th, and it's just been so tough for him to shake that off. Norman makes some contact with that turn 3 wall headed into the corner. He sits just 6.5 seconds, well, and counting. Toby Estes now swallowing that gap quite quickly. Gabbard's in the wall. Ryan Terry Gabbard makes contact with that wall, and the number 4 Bush Impala, well, whatever that thing is, it has no decals on it, doing a little bit of a switch with Donald Ray. And here comes Dustin Painter to his inside, this for 8th.
Yeah,
Aiden
now there's
Norman's
only...
crashed.
Oh, man, you hate to see that. And hopefully that does not bring out a caution, because there's only one car on the lead lap, and that's Jeff No.
One car incident for Norman. He gets just a bit squirrely out of that second corner. Seth Watson gets around John Honeybrink, who's in the pits right now, and he just gives it a little too much gas. Gets on the binders and gives a little more than a love tap to that inside wall. It goes just a bit more lopsided for Aiden Norman, but hopefully he can put the Clado back together and get that car back in fighting shape. Jeff No leading Cody Pennell, who's in that second position. Pennell on that lead lap, just unlapping himself. And now the chase is on. Cody Pennell has laps that are 50 laps more fresh than Jeff No. Donald Ray goes green, 22.73, his personal best in that 15th position. John Honeybrink sitting in 10th, quarter of a second ahead of Toby Estes, Ryan.
Yeah, and Jeff No's still just, I mean, he's really not losing a whole lot of time to Cody right now. Cody's having to deal with a little bit of lap traffic, and that's going to be a huge help to that 55. Now, of course, when he does finally have to pit, Cody will overtake him, but, you know, think about the long run here. We're coming up on lap, you know, what is it, like 158, 159 here. I mean, Jeff No is in a really good spot right now. I think he's got a good shot to win this race.
Jeff No has decided he's going to come in. So now the rookie comes down for service. Cody Pennell will go around the outside in turn number 4 and reclaim the lead. Thomas Andrews has yet to come down pit road, and this driver most certainly gambling on yellow, or possibly trying the Cody Pennell strategy, looking to go 70 laps on these tires. But Jeff No comes back out in the 5th position, and a strategy that works out for the rookie. He's still up 10 places from where he started. Thomas Andrews finds himself 8 seconds ahead of Tom Sears, who pitted last on lap 144. So now the defending champion hoping that a little bit of fortune comes his way as well. Battle for 9th, Ryan. John Honeybrink just ahead of Toby Estes.
Toby seemed to struggle just a little bit. As you see, the 20 gets a little loose off turn 2, but saves it. 78. Oh, we got the 21 on the inside there. Turn 4. Looks like Davey saves it, though. So good save by the 21 of David Houck. But I'll be interested to see Jeff No. He's about 15.8 seconds back from Cody. He's got those fresh tires, so he is going to be on a roll. Can he catch Cody before Cody comes down pit road?
Spin down the front straight. Aiden Norman on the grass. Looks like he jumps to pit road, and the 62 has decided he's going to need to take a breather. Norman jumps immediately after having that spill down the front straight. We'll see if he decides to stay in this one. Cody Pennell leading Thomas Andrews by 5 1/3 seconds. Davey Houck looks like he comes down pit road to get some relief there. Aiden Norman is out. The rookie says he's had enough. He's taking his ball and going home. Goes for a spill at a turn number 4, and he jumps immediately to pit road. Norman says, I've had enough. Cody Pennell leads. Thomas Andrews in second. There you've got Jeff No ahead of Jimmy Kerr. No just went green, Ryan. 22.78 seconds. His personal best. He's 3.5 seconds behind last week's winner, Tom Sears.
He's on the rail right now. I mean, and we knew he was. I mean, he's got fresh tires, so we know he's coming for Cody. The strategy that he is on, he's pretty much on a strategy by himself. I mean, we saw him stay out where he was the only car on the lead lap, so It's going to be really interesting. Oh, there's a car around up in turn 2. I don't know who that is, Rick.
It looks like the 21 of Davey Houck, and it is the 2-1 of Davey Houck. He gets it in the wall, but he keeps it moving with 60 laps remaining on the scoreboard. Let's see what happened to the Los Angeles driver. Possibly cold tires, and he just goes around, does a pirouette, and he just makes a little bit of a scrape with that wall, but he keeps it out of harm's way. We stay green with 60 remaining on the board. 2-8, 2-1-4, your top 3. The defending champion, Thomas Andrews, in second. Seth Wansing to the inside of Jimmy Kerr. Ryan, this for the top 5.
Absolutely. I mean, this is great battles all around. I know Seth's going to race hard. I mean, that's just who he is. He's very aggressive. He's going to try and get around James Kerr. But Jeff No right now already has his gap down to less than about 11.5 seconds. He is moving, and that 55 is going to be coming for that leader here very soon. And you got to wonder, also, the 2 of Thomas Andrews has been out there for a long time, Rick. He's got to be coming down soon for tires and gas.
Thomas Andrews last pitting on lap 83. He told me earlier that the cars can go about 80 laps on one tank of fuel, but so far, Andrews proving he's gone 85, if my math is right. Just insane mileage from the 2 car here, proving his excellent fuel conservation skills. It's something we saw from him last season. One of those strategies, one of those skills, I should say, that enabled him to win his first TNT championship. Tommy Withers now behind him. Withers got the 2nd place trophy last season, and now here comes Andrews. He's had enough of these old tires. With 55 laps to go, he's in for tires and fuel as Jimmy Kerr is on his way out. Terry Gabbard makes it into the top 10. Seth Wansing into the top 4. Cody Pennell ahead of Tom Sears by 9.5 seconds. And here comes Jeff No behind last week's winner. He wants that 2nd spot.
Yeah, and he's got it. I mean, it's just, he's got to get around the 20. Do that safely, and don't hurt yourself, don't hurt your car. Get around the 20, get to the 14's back bumper, put a little bit of pressure on them. You also have the 6 of Tommy Withers up there, as well as the 78. I mean, there's a big group of cars right here, but Jeff No, just with those fresher tires, he is in a good... Oh, 75 of Kerr is around right there, Rick.
Jimmy Kerr crashes. He's facing the wrong direction. Will he be able to get back onto the racing surface safely? He's in that Geico restart zone, parked, gives the tires a spin. Will he come down pit road, driving backwards a little bit? Will this affect Kerr? Gives it another spin with some flair, gets back pointed in the right direction as cars quickly get around that 75. JK3 goes for a spin, gets it moving once again. Let's see what happened to him on lap 169. This is Jimmy Kerr. Just a bit too vigorous, and he gives it a long drift through that 4th corner. Kerr now in that 15th position. Tom Sears ahead of Jeff No by 1/4 second, Ryan.
Yeah, they're closing too. I mean, they were about 10 seconds back from Cody. Now they're about 7.6, 7.9, and I mean, Jeff knows he's got it right here. He's got the position on the inside of Tom Sears. He's got the preferred line. I think he's probably going to get around Tom Sears here coming into turn 1 and 2. They got some lap traffic of Cody Riggs, but hopefully he stays out of the way. But they are closing on Cody. So now Cody's got to think, what do I do? Do I come down and get tires, or do I try and keep this thing green and try and stay out here and make my tires last to the end of the race? That's a tough decision.
Jeff No last came down on lap 157. He's had 3 pit stops, to my knowledge. Cody Pennell I believe, has had 2 pit stops, to my knowledge. Pennell last pitted on lap 133. Strategy would tell us if Cousin Cody goes all the way to the very end on the life of these tires, he'll have a fresh set with about 20 to go. Jeff No has to pit about 25 laps before Cody Pennell. Donald Ray, once again with a drift out of turn number 2, keeps his foot in it, and the race leader now looking to put the Texan a 3rd lap down. The number 5 G-Mac Chevrolet right now runs in 12th.
It's amazing that, you can say a driver's running 12th, 3 laps down, but, I mean, that's what TNT is. I mean, right now we only have 4 drivers on the lead lap. You got Richie running top 5, 1 lap down. I mean, that's what this series does. I mean, you got to be tough. You got to be really good at figuring your math, figuring your tires, your fuel, and it shows it in the results. I mean, with only 4 cars on the lead lap and, Seth about 13 seconds off the leader, he's in jeopardy to go a lap down, with another, 9 or 10 seconds. So just amazing racing here in TNT. I love it. It's just great.
On board with both Richie Catania and Dustin Painter, you're watching the battle right now for that 5th position. Fans at home, if you've just recently tuned in, don't miss your chance to win that raffle. Enter, as you're going to see here, exclamation point TNT giveaway 3 for your chance to win an Alex Bowman diecast, the 164 Neon Lights. Alex Bowman diecast will go to 1 lucky fan, exclamation point TNT giveaway 3. Fans that won the week before are ineligible to win, and Thursday Night Thunder drivers are ineligible to win this raffle. Richie Catania, now a 1/4 of a second ahead of the North Carolinian Ryan. Dustin Painter seems to be the dark horse in this race, just picking off those positions while nobody's looking.
Yeah, and I'm still surprised that Toby's not doing a little bit better. He's still running 7th, 1 lap down, but, I thought he'd be a lot better on the long run. But, I mean, I keep looking at the relative, and Jeff No is just closing lap after lap. He's gotten it down to 4.1 seconds. Probably going to close even a little bit more coming to the line this time. But I tell you what, Jeff No is on the move now at 3.9 second interval to Cody. He's trying to win this race, Rick.
Tommy Withers fell off the racetrack with another spin out of turn number 4. The Virginian, he last pitted on lap 176, and he had that spill right on lap 177. What in the world happened there? One more look here. He just gets snapped back in the opposite direction. That's weird. But the Valvoline Ford keeps on plugging away, possibly cold tires just reaching out and grabbing the pilot of the 6. The pilot of the 2.8, however, leading Jeff No by 4 seconds, Ryan, but you mentioned No is creeping up. There is the gap over the last 5 laps to Tom Sears, and there's the gap to Cody Pennell. No quicker by 0.2 over the last 2 revolutions at the Richmond Raceway. He finds himself 3.6 seconds behind Pennell as he looks ahead to these 2 pilots, Dustin Painter and Richie Catania, side by side out of 4.
And they're battling. I mean, they're trying to battle for that lucky dog. So this is a big battle, even though they're in front of Jeff No running 2nd. This is for the lucky dog. So if a wreck or, caution comes out, whoever is in front here between the 00 and the 24 gets their lap back and joins the 4 that are on the lead lap right now. So this is a big battle, even though it doesn't seem like it on track.
Crash from the 6 again, Tommy Withers. Crashed last lap out of turn number 4 this time. He really scuffs up the left-hand side of that Valvoline Taurus, and my heart breaks just a little bit because I think this is about the 4th time I've mentioned how much I love this paint scheme. And Withers, you're killing me, buddy. He gets way loose out of turn number 2 and gives it a hard crash on the left front corner. But I can't say nothing, Ryan, because I'm in the booth and he's all the way down there. He's a far better driver than I. But is it a combination of the cold tires? Because Withers has had a few laps on this rubber now. So you would think that the tires are up to temp. It just seems like when you get up out of turn 2 and turn number 4, the weight rolling across the body of the car in combination with the throttle, there's another wiggle. the car almost has a mind of its own, doesn't it?
It really does. And I mean, it takes about 6 to 8 laps for these tires to really get up to temperature. And unfortunately, if you spin, you increase those tire temperatures way beyond what they're supposed to be running at. And then your car just gets even more loose. So it's really difficult. Once you spin once, the car is just ill handling until you can either cool those tires down or come down and get 4 fresh tires. So yeah, unfortunate for Tommy Withers. You know, a good buddy of mine. I love his paint schemes every week, and just seems to be struggling on those cold tires.
Richie Catania on the outside of Dustin Painter. This is the everlasting battle for that 5th position. Painter looks like he might have the upper hand this time around. Will he make it stick on that 2-4 car? He certainly does. Dustin Painter into the top 5, just 6 seconds off the pace of Seth Wansing. But of course, Dustin Painter finds him, I say 6 seconds, pardon me, the interval a lot more than that as Dustin Painter finds himself the first car 1 lap down. Seth Wansing finds himself 15 seconds behind Tom Sears and the Massachusetts pilot, just sitting in that 3rd position. Jeff No, however, within 3 seconds to Cody Pennell. And again, let's compare over the last 5 laps. There you can see 0.4 of a second the difference, Ryan. That 55 car is on the move, but they've got 1 more pit stop to the end of this race. We're about to reach 30 laps to go, and if you're the driver, are you gambling on a late race caution, or do you come in right around now knowing you're going to finish the race with about 20 laps of wear?
Yeah, I mean, me personally, I'm going to come down pit road as soon as I can because I've seen what fresh tires do. I mean, it makes up so much time. I mean, you see Jeff No, he is, you know, probably around 20 laps fresher tires than Cody, and he's just reeling them in. I mean, he's got it down to 2 seconds now is the interval. So Jeff No's really got to be thinking, if Cody comes down, do I stay out and try and run him down with, 10 to go, or do I come in with him and stay that 2 seconds and try and out race him, for the final, 20 laps. So it's just really interesting. You can see Seth, running 4th right now. He's about a second or 2 from going a lap down himself. So he's driving the wheels off that thing. But really the top 3, which, I knew Cody and Tom were going to be tough. I did not think Jeff was going to be this far up the running order. So this is really cool to watch him, battling for this win.
Ford, Toyota, your top 3. The 213simware.com Supra of Tom Sears has a 14-second advantage over Seth Wansing. Tristan Catania opening the final round of green flag pit stops. He comes down for tires and fuel. And Ryan, it's the money stop. Drivers cannot afford to make a mistake. They've been beaten. They've been roughed up, trading paint with each other and the wall. Anything is possible, but of course the gamble has to be made, Ryan. You either come down now for the fresh tires, or you save that last set for a restart inside the last 10 laps. 9 tenths between Cousin Cody, the 4-time TNT winner, and Jeff No making his Thursday Night Thunder debut.
Unbelievable run by the 55. I mean, Stout Whiskey, he's a buddy of mine. I love him to death, but man, he is driving the wheels off that 55 car tonight.
Wide into that 3rd corner. Defending champion Thomas Andrews, sitting in 9th, has to let off the throttle to avoid making contact with John Honeybrink and Tristan Catania. Terry Gabbard, watching the 55, dive down to that inside lane. Cody Pennell last pitting on lap 133. Jeff No last pitting on lap 157. We've now hit lap 200, and there's 25 laps remaining. Ryan, I know he's your cousin, but who do you got?
Man, right now I really like Jeff No's strategy. I mean, I mean, I think he could stretch it to the end. It'd be tough, but it's an option on his plate. And Cody definitely knows right now. I mean, he's 0.3, ahead of Jeff No, but I think Cody's right now, he's got to come down pit road if he wants to try and win this race.
2-3 left on the scoreboard. Fans at home, if you've recently tuned in, one last chance for you to enter !TNT giveaway 3 for your chance to win an Alex Bowman diecast. K Rexican in the raffle. Bailey Shepard also in that raffle. Bama Trama won last week. She's going to have that awesome Kyle Busch diecast sent to her home. And with 22 laps remaining, 0.3 of a second is the gap between Cody Pennell and Jeff No. John Honeybrink just overtaken by defending champion Thomas Andrews. Evolution is in that chat. He enters !TNT giveaway 3. He's got a chance to win that Alex Bowman diecast at the end. We're going to reveal the winner during our podium interviews. Cody Pennell, Jeff No, 1-2, 20 laps to go. Both of these drivers with one set of tires remaining, and it looks like they're gambling on that late race caution now, Ryan, because with 20 laps to go, if you haven't come down yet, you might not be planning to come down at all. But Cody Pennell cannot go the distance. It would be 88 laps if Cody Pennell finishes on this one tank of fuel. Repeats in the house.
Yeah, I don't see how Cody can make it that long, but I mean, at this point, if he comes down, he's going to drop probably to about 7th or 8th. And, it just depends, on what Jeff No does, but I think Jeff No can make it, honestly. So Cody's kind of in a really bad position right now, because if he stays out, Jeff No is obviously, Cody gets loose and gets into the 55.
Big wiggle out of that second corner, and Jeff No has made his move. The tires starting to show their age for Cody Pennell. Jeff No takes the lead, and the rookie, not just his first season, but his first ever Thursday Night Thunder race. He is leading, coming to 17 laps to go. Cody Pennell, has he finally lost the grip on those General tires? He gives a big wiggle attitude, but he stays on the racing surface. Tom Sears, 8 seconds adrift of him. Repeat says it's stout whiskey, and he's cheering for Jeff No in that 55 car. Mr. Altoona following. Welcome to the Thursday Night Thunder clan here. Altoona, don't forget, !TNT giveaway 3 for your chance to win that Alex Bowman diecast we're giving away. Master Killer in the chat says stout whiskey. MK, you can also get a chance to win that diecast. !TNT giveaway 3 for your chance to win. Ryan, Jeff No leads by 0.7 of a second. Thomas Andrews just made his move into 7th. And further on back, this is the fight for 14th between Terry Gabbard and Davey Houck.
Yeah, there's battles all around the track, but I mean, Jeff No right now is just in a great position. I mean, I unfortunately, Cody, I think, just didn't get his strategy right again. I mean, that's 2 weeks in a row that he's just not quite figured out that strategy. And Jeff No, I think at this point, he's going to stay out. I mean, there's no sense in pitting at this point, unless he blows a tire or something, which, I ran some practice. These tires didn't really wear all that much. I mean, they definitely slowed down, but, you didn't really have to worry about blowing a right front or anything. So I think Jeff No's in a perfect spot. I would be worried if I was Cody. Those tires are going to be really, really bad at the end of this race. But I think Cody's just trying to hang on for second at this point, hoping Tom Sears doesn't catch him.
The 5-5 Carolina Basement Solutions Ford Mustang has lucky number 13 laps remaining in this race. Cody Pennell sits in second, 1.39 seconds off the mark. Davey Houck gets to the inside of Terry Gabbard. The Ohio native tries the crossover into 3, slams on the brakes, and that valence makes contact with the racing surface. Houck uses the momentum on the outside of 4, and the Piedmont Airlines Impala sticks to the 14th position. Donald Ray 1 second ahead of Jimmy Kerr. He solidifies his 10th place position. And cousin Cody, for the second week in a row, will he be left on the outside looking in as repeat cheers 275 bits for his buddy Jeff Noe, who's leading with 10.5 laps remaining.
I just don't think Cody has enough. I mean, it's, you know, Jeff Noe obviously at this point can start saving his stuff. He can start saving his tires, start saving fuel if, you know, that's really not an issue, but tires are a big factor here. But Cody is running him down a little bit. It went from a 1.2 to about a second gap. So, you know, maybe Cody was saving his stuff a little bit. And as Jeff Noe, you know, uses his tires up, can Cody run him back down? I mean, I think this is going to be a battle between Jeff and Cody, with Tom and Seth, you know, pretty far back from these front two. Cody is now to 0.8, Rick. This might be a great finish.
Repeat 1975 puts in TNT giveaway. Pete, you want to put in exclamation point TNT giveaway 3 for your chance to win. Cody Pennell now with 9/10 of a second between himself and Jeff Noe over the last 5 laps. Pennell quicker for 3 of those laps. On lap 217, Pennell still quicker by just 7/1000ths of a second. Repeat's got himself a ticket in that die-cast giveaway. We'll announce the winner on our podium interviews. 1 second now the gap. Jeff Noe feeling that pressure. Pennell is in. He can't hold it any longer. When you gotta go, you gotta go. And cousin Cody gives in one of his fastest laps of the race on the in-lap. He is down for tires and fuel. Tom Sears, last week's winner, finds himself 10.5 seconds behind Jeff Noe. Sears now 11.5 seconds. It's Noe's race to lose now, Ryan. Imagine this guy, Jeff Noe, passes his rookie test Tuesday night, makes his first TNT debut Thursday night. Can he hold on for 5 more laps?
Absolutely can. I mean, at this point, you know, you're 11.5 seconds ahead of second. I mean, Cody, I'm sure probably, he may even got a meatball flag. He may have blew a tire because I don't see Cody coming down pit road unless he absolutely had to right there. So he must have had a tire blowout. So now you got to look at Jeff Noe. You know, does he have any tire issues? But, I mean, at this point, you can just run it to the end, save those tires. You're almost 12 seconds up on Tom Sears. So what a run by Jeff Noe. This is just amazing from a rookie, not only, like you said, starting his first season with TNT, but his first race with TNT, and up here just waxing the field.
Master Killer is cheering for Stout Whiskey in the chat. You're looking at Donald Ray running that top side right now. Ray finds himself in the 10th position. First car 3 laps down. Master Killer, I think he's trying to cheer 55 bits there. Not sure what you're doing there, MK. But anyway, 2 laps to go this time by. Jeff Noe has put on an absolute masterclass from start to finish, Ryan. Mind you, he started in the 15th position. When he crosses the line, he's going to have 1.5 miles remaining. Last week's winner, Tom Sears, holding second by 8 seconds over Seth Wansing, who's the last car on the lead lap. Jeff Noe will come to the white flag, Brian. No, I'm sorry. This is he's got white flag next time by.
Absolutely, but still, I mean, with 12.5 seconds, it might as well be the white flag for Jeff Noe. I mean, he's just strategy, man. I mean, strategy is always key here for TNT as he takes a white flag. It's just, you see it week in and week out, and it has really proved itself tonight here at Richmond.
He's going to get by with a little bit of help from his friends. They say Virginia is for lovers, and he's loving Virginia. His first Thursday Night Thunder appearance turns out with a W. Jeff Noe wins TNT round 3. Donald Ray and Jimmy Kerr fighting hard for that 10th position. The Texan will hold on, but how about Stout Whiskey getting the job done in the 55 Carolina Basement Solutions Ford? First race, first win.
What a win. I mean, you know, again, Stout Whiskey, a good friend of mine, good friend of all of ours. I mean, he's been around in the ARCS community since we were on Heat 4, Heat 5. it's awesome to see him come out here in his first race and get the win. I mean, it's just so unusual to see that, Rick, and he pulled it off. I mean, just great win, great second place finish to Tom Sears and Seth with that third place finish. Heartbreak for Cody coming home fourth, just missing that podium, but man, what a hell of a finish.
And it looks like a Polish victory lap from the 5-5 of Jeff No. Great way to not only honor the late, great Alan Kulwicki, but bring back a little bit of that nostalgic Generation 4 spirit that we so love in Thursday Night Thunder. And I tell you what, Ryan, as far as great first wins go, he needed a bit of help, but he was there when it mattered. Jeff No gets onto the TNT scene, and he makes some noise. Seth Wansing in third, Tom Sears in second. Jeff No, obviously our hardest charger of the race, starting 15th and winning the race. John Honeybrink, our second hardest charger, he came up in 9th, up 11 places from where he started. And fans, don't go anywhere. We're going to have Seth Wansing, Tom Sears, and Jeff No on the podium. We're also going to announce the winner of our giveaway. Jeff's going to bring it through the grass and celebrate just a little bit, fans. Don't go anywhere. Podium interviews in just a moment. Your winner tonight, Jeff No. On the podium now with our top three, starting with Kansas City's Seth Wansing. He said he'd be back on the scene, and he came back with a podium. Seth, it's a great way to start your 5th TNT season.
Yeah, man. Happy to be back. Had a lot of fun. Had a second to fifth place car all night. Wish my overlay would have read a little bit better. I don't know if I think tires would have prevailed on Jeff anyway, but he came out right in front of me, and it said I was half lap short, so I saved a ton. like a lot. Gave up about 5, 6 seconds worth to him, maybe more. Backed all the way up to Cody and then crossed the line. It said I was 3 laps to the good. So I don't know if I saved too much or what, or just had a faulty overlay. But nevertheless, congrats to Jeff. Congrats to Lurkin. I mean, Tom Sears is always going to be up front, whatever he runs. So, but really, really fun race. Really enjoy the short tracks, and Richmond was a lot of fun.
Welcome back to Thursday Night Thunder, man. You did it back in style, and we will see you in a week's time at Kentucky. Congratulations on bronze.
Sir, thank you so much.
Ryan Pennell, you've got our second place finisher, two-time champion, Lurkin Tom Gaming.
Absolutely, Lurkin. Tom Sears, I hate that I wasn't able to, be out there on the track with you all, but had a blast in the booth with Rick as always. But man, you came home second. I thought you had some pretty good strategy, but man, it looked like Jeff just was. He was a complete different strategy. But just tell us about your race and how you brought that bad boy home second.
Yeah, first off, just want to thank you for joining tonight. Thanks for the stream, Rick, as always. Really appreciate all that you do, and Ryan, president of ARCS, appreciate everything that you do. But as for the strategy and stuff, honestly, when that caution came out, I was rolling down pit road, so I did not go in my stall, and then I pit under the caution. So that was a huge, super lucky break right there because I was wearing my tires down a little bit more than I wanted to. So that saved me a lot of time and positions and all that. So we were able to, because I probably was probably fifth or sixth on the full fuel run. So that it was able to help me on strategy a little bit. And yeah, we hit off sequence from Cody, and then Jeff hit probably like 20 laps after me. So we just kind of rubber banded and then all swapped spots. So Cody was just a little short on fuel. Otherwise, he would have finished where I finished. But congrats to Jeff. Hats off to him. First TNT race. Obviously, you never know what you're really gonna get when you're running first race anywhere. So props to him on getting the strategy there and getting through the field and riding up there, saving his tires and getting the win. So good stuff. Hopefully we can be consistent for the next round.
Well, you've definitely been consistent. I mean, now you got your last two finishes are first and second, so can't complain there. So you've got to be doing good in the points. So hell of a run, buddy, and hope to see you tomorrow night and Friday Night Frenzy. But hate I missed the race, but loved calling this thing, man. It was a lot of fun up in the booth, and it's just crazy that I love stout whiskey to death, but to come in here on his first race and wax y'all's ass, man, it's crazy.
Isn't it awesome? It's great. I love the whole
It
full
is.
circle of it all. So
But
it's great to have Jeff here, and
yeah,
man, good stuff.
great win to him, and I'll throw it over to Rick to talk to our race winner.
Before we get to Mr. No, it's time to pick our winner in our raffle. We had several entrants trying to win that Alex Bowman diecast. And it looks like the winner in this race is going to be Bailey Shepard winning that Alex Bowman diecast. Bailey, hit us up on Rick James TV on Twitter, and we'll be sending that one your way in the coming days. Congratulations, Bailey Shepard. Next week at Kentucky, Bailey, you are ineligible to win whichever diecast we'll be giving away in round 4. But if you did not win tonight, next week, next Thursday night at Kentucky, be tuned in the Twitch chat for a chance to win that 164 diecast with code !TNT giveaway 4. And now our race winner, driver of that number 55 Carolina Basement Solutions Ford Mustang in his first ever Thursday Night Thunder race. Jeff No gets the job done. And Jeff, you've got to let us know, what was the secret to getting the W tonight?
Oh, the secret was definitely, with that first caution. I was running. I started 15th. I suck at qualifying. I pitted and got fuel. I just took some fuel. Gave me that extra 18 to 20 laps to stay out past those guys. I'd worked up to 7th, I think, before people started pitting, and I was just able to trap a lot of those guys a lap down. So that really basically eliminated about 14 or 15 cars from the race, and it's got off on a different sequence from Cody. I definitely think he had us covered by far, and um, that was the difference. Able to get this dub.
You've made that first appearance tonight, and you've done it in style. Now, next week at Kentucky, we got to ask you, Rook, 2 wins and 2 starts? What do you think?
Probably not. Rick, I get on here. This is a luxury for me. I'm lucky that I get to race in evenings. I work all the time. I've picked up a second job trying to just make ends meet with the way stuff's going on. So just hop on and just get to turn laps and kind of get out of my own head, man. It's an absolute blessing. I got to thank you for I discussed joining this group with you and Ryan for allowing me to race. This is my 3rd race racing with ARCS. I'd raced 1 race back on Xbox and did the Toys for Tots. So this is a good group of guys. They were always a good group of guys on Xbox, and now I get to partake in the festivities here on iRacing.
Gotta say, it's a pleasure having you, Jeff. And we look forward to the next time we'll see you in the Thursday Night Thunder roster. But what a way to get that victory, buddy. Go celebrate. Congratulations on the W.
Hey, thanks, Rick.
Fans at home, that's going to do it for us tonight. And what a 3rd chapter of racing we've been able to put in the books. Next Thursday night, 8:40 p.m. Eastern, right here on Rick James TV, you will see these ARCA cars go around Kentucky's legacy configuration. We take a 1-week break, and then we come back on July the 28th at Sonoma Raceway. You got to be ready for that. My esteemed thanks to Ryan Pennell, one of the OG broadcasters of Thursday Night Thunder series. Ryan Pennell coming in and filling in. Thank you so much, Ryan, for helping out. My esteemed thanks to Repeat coming in and showing some love, and everybody who came in, participated in the chat. Until that next race, everybody, please stay safe. Do take care of each other, and we will see you all around.